Hey everybody, this is Tasha Gwilt. So today I wanted to go over what the costs and fees of buying a house are. So part of preparing for home ownership is understanding all of the fees and costs associated with buying a home. And there's a lot that actually goes into it, and depending on the price of your house and how much you're putting down and more can factor into how much you're putting down and what cash you need to have in order to close on this loan. So if you're a VA buyer, you won't need any money up front. Fortunately, that is a benefit of having a VA loan, is that you don't have any costs associated with that. And of course, it's all depending on your circumstances. So, there's a lot of factors that goes into what your rate is and what your loan terms are going to be. So make sure that whenever you're starting this process to talk to me and talk to your lender about what that is going to be and your any specific factors that's going to play into that. So since VA buyers won't need money for upfront payment, you will not have a down payment. So there are 5 costs that you're going to look at whenever you're looking at buying a home. And so if you are buying a home with a VA loan, you will not have a down payment. However, if you are buying with any other type of loan, such as a conventional loan or an FHA loan, you will be required to have a down payment. And so, say you're looking at a house for about $600,000, your down payment with a VA loan is $0. And that's compared to a 3.5%, which is typically an FHA loan. They will be having to bring $21,000 to the closing table. And if you have a 20% down loan here, that would be $120,000 on a $600,000 home. So if you are purchasing with a VA loan, it is really beneficial to have that VA loan just because it can take a lot of time to save that money for a down payment. And so that's a huge benefit. So you also have your earnest money costs. And this is basically your good faith deposit that you're showing to the seller. You're a strong and serious buyer and you really want this home and you are doing your best, because that is the money that is put online if something were to happen. I also have a whole video on that if you want to go and take a look at that as well. So this shows that you're a serious buyer no matter what kind of home purchase you're doing, and it just depends on what your purchase price is. So it's 1 to 3% of that. And I always recommend being on the high side of the initial deposit, just because it does show that you are stronger. And then some VA buyers end up getting this back at closing, and it all depends on a variety of circumstances. So make sure you reach out to me or your lender to ask them how you would be able to do that. So you'll also be getting an appraisal on the home, and this is just an opinion of value to assure the lender that the home that you're buying is worth what you're buying it for. And the appraisal costs can vary, but they're usually about $600 here in Southern California, and some lenders can end up only charging you at closing instead of having you do that up front. So that just depends on what lender that you have. Also, you'll be getting a home inspection, and the price of this, it really varies depending on your square footage and the type of package and the company, the home inspection company that you use. So you'll bring an inspector out, and of course that won't be the end of cost. So they'll give you an itemized detailed list about any issues that they found with the home, and you may want to bring in somebody that is more, a professional in that area, such as a professional plumber or an electrician or somebody to that effect. So they'll let you know about the issues that they find, and with these issues that they find, we can negotiate the repairs. However, understand that all homes are as is, so any concessions that the seller makes or any repairs that the seller makes is just an extra benefit. Also, you have closing costs. So there are many costs that are associated with buying a home, and you could have costs for originating processing fees from the lender. Of course, you have your appraisal, your home inspection, taxes, insurance, all of that. So you could have miscellaneous costs, just depends on a lot of factors. So it's really important just to talk to me and your lender about those extra costs. So you'll get an idea of what all of those costs are going to be after you get accepted on a home. You'll usually get that within 3 days from your lender. And so you want to look at that and make sure that everything is good, because that's what you're going to be going by for the end of the process, and with all of the fees and any cash that you need to have at the closing table. And so you can also negotiate these closing costs into the offer, so that way the seller can pay some of your closing costs. And you know, it's not always the case that they'll provide that, especially here in LA. So you just want to make sure to talk to me and your lender about what amount you can ask for and what amount is going to also get you accepted on that home and not scare off the seller. So every transaction is different, so you may need some funds for closing. So just talk to me or your lender about that.